Hours after a suspected chemical attack in Syria, US President Donald Trump said this in a meeting with his top advisors.
It's a disgrace. It's frankly a real disgrace. It's an attack on our country in a true sense. It's an attack on what we all stand for.
But he's not talking about the war in Syria. He's talking about the FBI raid on his own lawyer's office. The president is feeling the heat from an investigation over his campaign's alleged collusion with Russia and obstruction of justice. Troubles for his lawyer, Michael Cohen, began when he said he'd paid off an adult movie star to stay quiet about an affair with Trump. But investigators want to know more about where he got the money, what other deals he may have executed on behalf of his client, and whether he's lying. Not telling the truth has already landed other key Trump allies in hot water. Attorney General Jeff Sessions initially denied the administration's contacts with Russia.
I have never met with or had any conversation with any Russians or any foreign officials concerning any type of interference with any campaign or election in the United States.
But a photo tweeted out by the president himself includes the campaign advisor who set up these contacts, and that's helped Sessions jog his memory.
And I would gladly have reported it had I remembered it.
Trump's campaign manager Paul Manafort and another advisor Rick Gates have also been charged with conspiracy against the US and making false statements. Gates has pled guilty. He entered the plea after Alex von der Zwaan, who worked for Manafort, turned over audio tapes that are now part of Mueller's trove of evidence. Trump says the case is a witch hunt. He may need some legal wizardry of his own to avoid an indictment. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Well, it is that time of the show where we get some insight from our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, who joins us, as always, from Paris. Craig, really good to see you. So here we are. We've heard so many allegations levelled at President Trump personally. So far, in a legal sense, nothing has stuck. Are we getting closer to the moment that the president gets indicted, do you think?
Well, we know very little, actually, of what Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller is actually doing. It's secret. And what this has done, it's created this mystery, like a giant global game of Clue, a whodunit, that it's affecting the markets, it's affecting politicians, it's affecting everything. But like all stories, they have a denouement, a crescendo, where you know something big is going to happen. That's what happened here. In essence, what happened yesterday was that the United States government managed to hurdle the highest bar in American jurisprudence to get a federal judge to give a search warrant that would breach attorney-client privilege. That action is only triggered when the federal government is looking for a mobster.
Now, talking of that, I mean, at the time of his nomination, his election campaign, Trump made no efforts, really, to distance himself from his business empire. Do you think that decision at that time is what is going to come back and haunt him here?
It depends on the scope of what the so-called Justice Department taint team finds in Trump's attorney's office, Cohen's office. Look, they're looking for criminal collusion of any sort between Trump and his attorney. This could widen the scope of Mueller's mandate. It could involve Trump International. It could involve Stormy Daniels. It could involve anything. Anyone who's done business with Donald Trump or his corporation, his privately held corporation, ought to be very frightened tonight.
Craig, unfortunately, time is already out, but Craig Copetas there in Paris, thank you as always.